I want to start with orders down the front.
Right. Glenn, congratulations on your ton. That looked a popular ton amongst your teammates. So take us through the context of that gritty innings.
Yeah, obviously we were in a decent position going overnight, and I think we talked about trying to keep England out there for as long as possible, especially with the pitch getting better as the game is going to go on. The more runs we could get in that first innings, the more crucial it was going to be. So partnerships was the biggest thing, and I think just being able to get it over the line was fantastic. The boys are all incredibly supportive of each other's success, and obviously, you know, we're all one in the same mindset and in the same goal going forward. So we do enjoy each other's success, and it was fantastic to have the boys' support today.
I saw you look to the heavens after you made the 100. What was the context regarding that, or was it a sense of relief, or how? Maybe explain.
It's the anniversary of my dad's passing tomorrow, so I mean, hopefully with our boys doing their thing, maybe I'm not going to be needed tomorrow, but for today is close enough for the moment to matter, and you know, he's been a big role in my life for cricket going forward, and obviously I know he would have loved to be here to see that, and Test cricket was his favourite format, not that necessarily he played, but in terms of watching, so you know, I know he's watching at some stage.
Been with the contest last night, I think it was intriguing a lot of people, the pantomime and your movements and ducking and diving and tumbling, etc., facing Jofra Archer. Maybe give us a bit of background about that duel and surviving it, I suppose.
Yeah, we've actually had one of those duels before, probably about 6 or 7 years back in New Zealand, and he pretty much hit me in the exact same spots all over, so it was very deja vu sort of feeling, but you know, he bowls with great heat, great accuracy, and he just kept coming back, which obviously as a premium fast bowler, that's what you need to do for your side, and you know, he was, from a leadership perspective, that's what you want from your top fast bowler, and obviously it was a thrilling contest for the crowd to see as well, and sometimes you just got to enjoy it, laugh and hope for the best.
And a thought today on, you know, England 222 for 6, you got 391 on the board. What was your reaction with, you know, in the gully there, I guess with the hostility that the likes of O'Rourke, etc., were able to put together with the ball?
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know, the boys kept coming back, spell after spell, bowling heavy lines and lengths. Obviously England got away to a nice start, and to be able to bring them back and peg them back with a few wickets at the end was a really nice reward. It's great to have War to be able to bowl his heat and with that incredible bounce that he's got amongst with the other three bowlers, which is, you know, it's a great partnership set of bowling. You know, we've got KJ with height and bounce, and we've got both Smudge and Tezza being able to absolutely hammer those line lengths all day long and bring the stumps into play all day. So I think the uniqueness of the bowling partnerships has been fantastic. And you know, as Test cricket goes, there are ebbs and flows, and I think the way that we finished off today, especially since after tea, was a fantastic effort from the boys and showed a lot of character.
Just finally for me too, just a thought on Nathan Smith's run out of Ben Duckett.
Yeah, obviously, especially at that point in time, you know, Duckett was on a bit of a flyer, so at those sort of moments, sometimes that's where your fielding can make a difference, and he's been moving absolutely fantastically. He's been getting to the ball incredibly fast. Obviously, he nearly ran Emilio out as well earlier on, so for him to actually get that second opportunity and then hit straight down the barrel, which is fantastic, and it obviously set us off for a nice little momentum shift.
Talk about that ding-dong with Jofra last night. I imagine coming to the ground this morning, you were probably expecting round 2, and then were you surprised to see him sort of stood out for the first hour and a half? I
think with a big spell like he did, ideally with only 3 wickets down, you know, you do need him for a second innings still, so it wasn't a surprise not to see him until probably the back end of our innings. Obviously you guys have 2 other really fast bowlers that can do the exact same thing, and you know, I think that older ball actually ended up moving a lot more than that newer ball did, so to come out and obviously receive the same sort of barrage from the other boys, maybe in a slightly different context rather than potentially trying to survive the night, obviously trying to enforce things a little bit more, and then obviously the way KJ did it as well was fantastic. The way he moved around, threw hands at the ball and kept the rotation of strike going was fantastic, so that definitely made a big difference.
Just out of interest for last night as well, do you reckon the sunglasses added a couple of miles an hour onto Jofra's pace? He seemed to be fancying it after that.
I mean, when you're looking at the side screen like this, 140 Ks is pretty quick. So at least I'd rather see the ball at 140 Ks than have a big glare in my eyes and not see it. So one keeps my head on, and the other keeps my head off. So we have a side screen very similar to it in Dunedin. So it's not the first time I've batted with sunglasses, but my eyes are very sensitive to the light. So I've been bowled out a few times not using the sunglasses, and it's a little bit of swallow my pride, put them on, see the ball, and actually give myself a good chance.
Thanks. We've got Mel just first, and then we'll go to Matt.
Glenn, just scoring a first Test century, does that make a real difference to you? The fact that it was almost surprising to think that you hadn't got one until now. Does that change things for you going forward?
I think it's one of those situations where you feel like something like that is always coming. At some stage you play enough cricket for a long enough period of time, and you try and do your process and you contribute to the team as much as possible. Those sort of things hopefully take care of themselves. Today obviously it did take care of itself, which was fantastic, and a nice little result to see the process pay off, which is fantastic. And I guess we talk about being a part of something bigger than ourselves, and Kane obviously speaks about it quite a lot. We score our runs, but they're never our runs. We're just custodians of those runs for the team. So, and that mindset has definitely rubbed off on a lot of us, which is fantastic. And I think that's the way we go about our cricket. We try to do things for the team, for a partnership, and whoever gets those results at the end of the day is fantastic. So, yes, it is very nice to get the result and that 100 under the belt, but in the bigger context of the things, the partnerships that we built to keep England out there for that length of time and to bring the bowlers back over and over, I think was probably the more important thing.
And is that for someone who is as can I say, like, very expressive and extravagant in movements on the field and a very big character? It was a quiet celebration for you. Was that part of it? Or was it, if I can just clarify, was it more to do with your dad, or was it to do with the situation of the team?
I think probably a little bit of both. A little bit more of the overwhelming sense of joy that it brings, and also the context of the game, the kind of environment that we're in. It's obviously very, very intense, very enjoyable, and sometimes the most enjoyable moments aren't always the most loud on the outside. To know that's what we spoke about as a team, that what we wanted to do, those sort of things have great meaning and great importance, and definitely cherish the moment and enjoy it for what it was. And maybe it was one of my more subdued celebrations that there's been, but it meant the same, or it meant a lot nonetheless.
Great, just Matt over there.
Glenn, could I just ask about your preparations for this series? Did you have the chance to get a good amount of volume in while you're over in India on the sidelines?
Obviously more from the white ball perspective. I still had to be prepared to play, but we were very, very lucky at Gujarat with the amount of facilities that we had. So I'm not necessarily training red ball cricket per se, but having that same mindset of being still, trying to keep my head as still as possible and play the ball as late as possible under my eyes. There was time to be able to have those sort of net sessions, do my throwdowns. We were very spoiled for choice over there with the number of facilities and people that we had on board. And then from a bowling perspective, obviously when you've got that much time, you can get a lot of overs under your belt, and then it's just a matter of trying to get used to that red ball when you get over here. And obviously with the Duke, it is always ever so slightly different. So for me, it was then about making that adjustment when we got to Lords, trying to adjust as quick as possible, play the ball a little bit later under my eyes, and hopefully allow that ball to move, but then move with it as late as possible.
I just wanted to ask about Emilio Gay's dismissal as well. From your perspective, it felt like the bowler keeper first slip didn't really appeal, but the guys in the rest of the slips in the gully, were they the ones who went up, Nichols and Cornwall?
Yeah, I think Dev was probably the biggest advocate for it. I thought it potentially snuck his grill, just with obviously how quick everything happens. You never quite know from the sidelines, but there was definitely quite a big noise from where we heard it, and obviously the lads that were a bit more in line saw that it was close to his bat and gloves, and obviously he was batting very well, so it was worth the the option and the risk to take that review, and obviously it paid off very nicely. So kudos to Dev and Toby.
Just down here.
Most of you guys were actually out after you achieved your half century and century. Were you happy with the scoreboard that you finished just before the lunch, and were you happy with the pitch and the surface that you planned and the score you achieved?
Yeah, I think arriving this morning, we would have been pretty happy with anything around that 350 mark. So to be able to come out there, add a few more runs on that, to be able to keep England out there for another roughly 2 hours, I think was probably also one of the more important things as well, especially going into later on in the game. Hopefully we can bring their bowlers back, and maybe that'll allow us to have a few more scoring options later, maybe day 3 going into day 4. So obviously it is a long game. That sort of stuff does take a toll on bowlers' bodies, and if we can keep bringing them back going again spell after spell, that's really, really important. But the way that the tail wagged today was fantastic.
Later yesterday evening, there was very good support for the spinners when the England was bowling. Was a discussion between your team to bowl any spinner in the later evening today?
I think probably if we're talking about what were the dismissals available and what was the hardest bowling to face tonight in the type of light and the conditions, I think it was still probably bringing the stumps into play. Our pace is doing as much of the role as possible, and there will be time when spin needs to come into play. Obviously, our big boys have got a lot of overs to bowl, and obviously there's still another second innings to go. But if you can get ahead of the game as much as possible early on, taking those 2 crucial wickets at the end was very important. And maybe spin becomes more of a role later on. That is a bit dry underneath, so you never know what could happen day 4, day 5. But for now, we obviously want to try and get as far ahead of the game as possible and use the resources we have. And then if that means myself and Ratchin come in and be able to hold an end while the big boys go around and roll over from an end, which would be fantastic. But obviously if they're taking wickets and they're doing a job, as long as there's gas in the tank, they'll keep going.
Your innings got both the aggressive one and the defending one. What were your thoughts throughout your innings? What were you thinking? Like, should you go for the bigger runs, or should you actually defend your team to the end of the innings?
It's definitely a more process-driven focus. So if the ball was in my area, regardless of whether we were going slow or whether we were going fast, that was what dictated whether I hit the ball or not. Other than maybe when Willow Rourke came in, where then you're probably trying to look to up the ante, and I'm still a little bit disappointed with myself that I didn't send that one out of the ground. But the way that Test cricket ebbs and flows, sometimes you're going to be scoring a lot of runs and you're going to go at a nice clip, and then other times the bowlers are going to bowl well and you have to soak up some pressure. So there were obviously those 2 elements to the game today, and everything evens out in the end.
Thank you. Coming from Simon. Just
a quick word on the match situation, if you don't mind. You thought 350 was about par and ended up well over it, and England still well under it. Do you think you're in control of the game at this point?
Obviously, I suppose at the end of day 2 you'd probably say so, but obviously cricket is a funny game. Partnerships can happen from anywhere, so we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We just want to make sure that we keep coming back, doing the simple things that we've been doing, and do them really well for long periods of time. That pitch is definitely flattening out quite nicely and leading into a really good day 3. So we're going to have to be really on our game. It might be a bit more of a slog it away characteristics, where we just keep trying to bash a length for long periods of time and bore the batsman out if we have to. And then obviously with the new ball potentially around the corner in 30 overs or so, then maybe go into that bit more of attacking mindset again. But there's a lot of cricket left to play, and I think it's poised nicely as a contest in general.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.